The Board of Aldermen of the City of Brookshire will conduct a regular meeting on Thursday, April the 7th, 2022 at 7 o'clock p.m. in the council chambers of Brookshire Municipal Building located at 4029 Fifth Street. And before we start, is there anyone like to give us a prayer?
I'll do it. Dear Heavenly Father, as we come to you tonight, we thank you for this day that you have given us, Father. Give us the knowledge and the strength to make the right decisions for the citizens of Brookshire. We ask that you help us to place principles before personalities. We ask all of this in Jesus' precious name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Harrison, will you do the roll call for us?
Mayor Branch,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Green,
Here.
Alderman Staff, Alderman Jones, Alderwoman Branch,
Here.
Alderwoman Taylor.
Present.
You have a quorum, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Next agenda item is going to be public comments, and we have two signed up. Mr. Chris Walto.
Mayor, Councilwoman, Councilman, I come before the council to give a report. Even though it's public comments, it's simpler for me because I'm working tonight to fulfill my duties to the city, and that's for the mosquito abatement program. I wanted to come and let the city know that we've begun larviciding. Every 60 days we have to larvicide. Yesterday and this morning, I finished up half the city is completed. From Garvey Road all the way to Fifth Street is all completed. Ms. Harrison has the bill for that. I've emailed it to her. Next week, we'll complete the rest of the city from Fifth Street all the way to Hovis Park. What we do here is larvicide out of the special unit that I have to put out granular larvicide in all the standing water, and there's a lot of standing water in the city, y'all. A lot. In fact, I've never mentioned it to you before, but there is a retention pond at Auto Street and Second and a Half. Behind there's I think it's called Kenner Center or something like there. That's a auto mechanic and a strip center. There's a huge retention pond that needs to be mowed. Somebody needs to run around there and get the weeds out of that thing. Even if it's the city investing in some sort of aquatic herbicide to get all the growth out of that pond, because it's stagnant and it's dead. It's taking a lot of larvicide to treat it.
He's talking where Renee's shop is. I forget the name of.
Starts with a K, Kellner maybe or something like that. But it's probably about a half acre or a little bit more. And unless you get up on the berm and know that it's there, you'll never see it. And I fog around there to make sure that we're controlling those adult mosquitoes that are breeding in that thing. And it's all been larvicide. I want to make sure that y'all realize that there's a difference between what I do in the daytime and what I do at night. Because in the past, there's been questions about it, and I haven't been here to answer those questions. That's why I want to be affirmative with what's going on. So larviciding will continue next week. Tonight is a fog night. I've already fogged 2 nights. That's called adulticiding. I fogged on April the 1st, which was a Friday. I did it again on Tuesday, and now it's Thursday. So Ms. Harrison has an update on, I emailed her, we go back and forth with the bills, and they go to her. I send them to her the very next day after my service. I also would like to say that I can continue to encourage mowing abandoned lots. All the overgrown, growth that we have in the city needs to be identified and taken care of. We've had these conversations in the past. And also, I wanna welcome any councilman member, mayor, or city supervisors to ride along. Now remember, you can ride along with me, I'll show you what's being done, and, you gotta give me about 4 hours at night. We start right at sundown, and we don't finish till after midnight. Any questions? All right. I won't be sticking around because I have work to do. All right. Thank you all.
Thank you,
Thank
sir. Next we have Ms. Jessica Bartol.
Good evening. I don't speak at council very often, but I'm glad to be here tonight with you guys, all your peoples and mayor and mayor pro tem. My question and kind of what I wanted to know is more so regarding the EDC item number 8 on our agenda tonight. I was given some information that, the city or the EDC was gonna help a new business with some, funding. And so I wanted to know, as, I guess, the city, what we're doing for already established businesses in that regard. COVID has hit all of us really hard in the last 2 years, and I don't want any of the older businesses to kind of be left out. Like, it still is affecting all of us every day, in the city. Super excited for new businesses to be here. I'm glad that we're attracting them, but I wanted to know if any of that type of monetary value would be going back to some of the older businesses.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, let's move on to agenda item number 4. Discussion regarding water service to homes or sites during the construction period. Mr. Keith Woods.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. I did ask to have this agenda item placed on there discussing some of the experiences that I have as a company, J&K Construction, as we go through the process. Just real quickly, I just recently completed my own home and different experiences. And let's say this off top, that my comments are not to offend anybody personally. Just talk about as far as some of the things that challenges are some of the things that's going on through the construction. I was paying out of my own pocket, so of course, I probably took a little longer than some of these spec homes or whatever, but as you just build custom homes, it does take a little longer. I do have one more custom home this year that I'll be starting. But just getting to the end of the project and so forth, I was not aware as far as you not being able to have water service to the site as you're in the midst of your construction, because I chose to not pay the impact fee until the last part of my construction. One, because of financing, and I'm building as we go. But I would encourage you all to look as far as into possibly encouraging the water district to have the water allowed on the construction site during or at the beginning of the construction. And we could talk about COVID, safety measures as far as being on the site and having water accessible on the site. Also mentioned about, you just having a lot that you want water on the site. That's another option or something else to look at. During the construction, the council has some ordinances that require you to have landscaping, plants and so forth. You need water for those as well. I'm a little confused as far as, and I mentioned this is something I've been mentioning here lately in my conversation, that we are here to help. Even through my construction experience, even some of the jobs that I have, it seems that, whether it's the water district or the city, it's almost like an I got you type idea. If you can't, maybe you failed an inspection or whatever the case may be, it's not a community or city relationship. So I just would like you all to look into those type of situations, whereas it is a little bit more appealing for people to come and build or start any type of project. I will tell you real quickly that the water district, and I know what your ordinances or what you've tried to do as far as with some of your rules, tried to build a relationship with the water district and allow them to come in where you guys will be both on the same page as construction sites go. I would just, I would give you an idea as far as the way I look at the water district and water and situation like that. That's not a bad idea to have a relationship with the water district, but I think at this time, I kind of liken the water district experience with the city, kind of like a kid with a 9mm. You know, it's a 9mm could be good, it could be used for safety and hunting, but in the wrong hands, it could be deadly. And I just think as far as the water district situation, I don't think that we're at the point where the water district will really be given that much leverage when it comes to finalizing completion of projects and so forth. So I really would like to you all look into those type of situations. I know it's real sensitive, but when you're on those job sites trying to get things done, you really do need people working with you. It's not a us against them, it's not you against me, it's us trying to get things done. I know the city has experienced a lot of situations where the water districts have basically run off opportunity.
Yes, Lord.
It's just a mindset, it's a control thing. I think the water district really have a mindset to be like the city or be as strong as the city and not as a service for the citizens. So at this time, I know that encouraged to build a relationship, but sometimes the city may consider how much leverage they give a water district as far as when they're involved in a project, because that leverage going to the water district is really it's a power thing. It's not, I don't think they look at things as an opportunity to grow and to build and to move forward with projects. It's almost you have to come through us and that kind of thing. So I really would encourage the city to look at building a more of a relationship with your customers and not where people are afraid to maybe pull a permit or they're not afraid to be fail the inspection. It's not a bad thing to fail the inspection. You have those guys, you have people there that see things as wrong and you can get it right. That's at the end of the day, that's what you want to do. So I'm speaking for myself, and I know as far as other builders and other businesses that come here, the experiences, especially with the water district, and along with the city, is not, I think it could go to another level. I will give you one real quick thing. I do call other cities, and I'm registered with the city of Katy. City of Katy allows water to be on the job sites, information I've received, you know, at the beginning of job sites and things like that. Some of the processes, you never really get a chance to go back and forth or with, as far as administrative office or even with the employees, because they have a really professional setting. You do this and you get that. So encouraging, that's very important that the city look into how much leverage you all allow the waters to have when it comes to making decisions for permits and things in the future. It really is. And I would tell you something, just, you have a project going on, and I can assure you, because I've experienced it as well, if you don't get water from the water district, you're gonna get it from your neighbor. And every project around is doing the same thing. And to me, it doesn't make sense. As soon as you pull that water meter, you pay the bill afterwards. If you're getting water, as soon as you break ground on a job site, you begin to get taxed for the city of Brookshire. So I'm saying it's a relationship thing. It's just not that hard. I don't think you have people come in, you should be really, I think you should be really welcoming to anyone that walks through this door that decides to build in your community. And it should be a relationship. No one should feel that I got you type situation. You know, and I could just go on and on with a lot of stuff that I have recorded as far as dealing with some of this stuff. And I'm not here to try to pursue a lawsuit or anything to bash anybody. I'm just telling you facts of experience. That these are a few things that you all really need to do, look at. And I really would encourage you all to really, it may seem a little harsh, but really consider what I said about a kid with a 9mm. At this time, it's just not, you all have to start really looking into ways that you could motivate growth in this community without the water district having so much leverage. Because they're not really with the mindset of growth. It's just, as a lady mentioned to me the other day, I don't know about the impact fees. I mean, we're getting hit with these crazy impact fees, and she said she asked about amount, how much it was at this point, and it was, you get around the circle. You go ask, of course, you might be in California before you can, the string of the paperwork that may go on. So I really would encourage you all to consider the relationship with the water district and the leverage as far as that they have. And definitely about the water being provided on the sites, because that's an ordinance that you all have requiring the builders to have landscaping. And that's just this one thing that you can consider. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Can I speak on behalf of the water district, if it's possible?
Speak.
Mr. Woods
Can you
has spoken.
hold-
You had to give me permission, I'm sorry.
State
Forgive
your name,
me, Mayor.
state your name, ma'am.
I'm sorry. My name is Tanya Pierre. I'm the general manager for the water district. I just wanted to let the board know that, Mr. Wood has spoken to myself and my board president, Ms. Green. We have discussed his concern about having water at the job site, and we will be scheduling a meeting here soon to discuss his concerns. So hopefully we'll be able to address his concerns soon. And he's aware that we are putting him on the meeting.
I just find it awful funny, this is my personal opinion, that y'all have a fire hydrant right here that's been leaking for 3 months. Water's wasting, but you refuse to give water to people that's trying to build a home. And how are they able to do inspections before they put up their sheetrocks in the house if they don't have water?
Yes.
Just my personal opinion.
And that hydrant is scheduled to be repaired.
It's been being repaired for the last 2 months, Miss Green.
It's scheduled to be repaired.
Okay. Anyone else?
That's, proposed fee.
What she said?
Leave it alone, Brent, please.
Please.
Ms. Green's always very rude to me when it comes to the water district and city council meetings. Just leave it alone.
Anyway, we're gonna skip down to agenda item number 10. Agenda item number 10, discussion and possible action regarding publication for bids for a wheelchair ramp at Bostic Park. Mr. Green?
Don't really know how this actually became my agenda item.
Well, you had put it on the agenda, but we actually have somebody working on that,
Okay.
so
Okay.
that can
Let
be
me-
still,
let
unless
me-
you wanna talk about it.
Let me explain something real quick. But working with Mr. Jeremiah Hill, we have, someone that he knows that's willing to donate the time and the, material to do, the, ramp, sidewalk. So we don't need to go out for bids.
The people that's building the house over there on, the company, that's who's gonna do it.
Mr.
Office.
Hill, what's the name of the?
Elia Holmes.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I could take a moment. You know, it's kind of surprising, the last city council meeting to hear council talk about ADA problems at our parks. I think the term that was used was potential loss to life and injury at our parks. And I just want to say, I mean, we should be taking disability access seriously. We should be taking the facts our parks are in disrepair pretty seriously. I mean, the liability that y'all opened yourself up to in that last meeting by that statement alone was just incredible to me. So I went, after that meeting, I reached out to Councilwoman, Taylor, excuse me, and mentioned to her that, you know, a lot of these developers I've been talking to have said, we wanna do something for Brookshire. We wanna invest back into the place that's allowing us to make money as our businesses. And the first one I reached out to was Athelia Homes, and within minutes, they said, absolutely, can we meet you out there? Met them out there, they looked at it and they said, absolutely, it's not a problem for us to do. Met with the mayor, he agreed to it, and so This is a great example of how public-private partnerships can work together. And it's a simple thing, that our residents shouldn't have to be asking, can I get my wheelchair into our parks? They should already be able to get our wheelchairs into our parks. So thankful to you, Mayor, for allowing this to happen. I know there's some issues with the park that they were addressing this week, Public Works, and they've laid out the layout. You can go look at it actually right now of what that ramp's gonna look like. It's gonna have a curb that extends, it's 5 foot, and it's gonna extend to a 6-foot radius. It's gonna be curved on each side so they don't fall into our ditches. And Ernest Kelly, I don't see him, our Public Works Director, here tonight, but they finally dug out those ditches so the water is draining, and I appreciate him doing that. So it's a great example of what can happen if we just reach out to some of our community partners that wanna be a part of this community. So again, thank you, Mayor, for spearheading that and letting us be a part of that.
Thank you.
Mr. Hill, is that the gentleman from Athena Home?
No, he's not here tonight. He actually, his family is all taking a bug. And
Oh,
so,
okay.
He's actually supposed to be another event that I'm at right now. It's one of my guests. But because they've got a stomach bug, they're not wanting to spread it to everyone else. But my understanding is the mayor at a future meeting is gonna do a proclamation for him. And so they'll be here at that time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, with that, let's move to agenda item number.
So, do,
I don't think there's any action to take if you're handling that as a donation. One thing Mr. Hill, I might get with you after the meeting, just ask if, and they may not be interested in this, but if the donation, there's a donation agreement that we can get from Athena Homes to the city. There's maybe some other options, naming options, if they want that kind of recognition at the park, so.
Mayor agreed to just do a simple proclamation. They didn't even want that.
Okay.
I told the mayor it'd be a nice thing to do.
Okay.
But no, they're not looking for extended credit or anything like that. They just, again, want to give back to the community. They're building new homes, building phenomenal homes on top of that, so.
I don't think there needs to be,
Proclamation will be sufficient.
I don't think any action needs to be taken on it.
Agenda item number 5, discussion and possible action regarding the approval of a temporary food establishment permit for a food truck to be located at 3226 Depot Street. Ms. Vasquez.
Vasquez,
Vasquez?
Vasquez.
Good morning, my name is Elba Velasquez. I'm sorry if I'm not playing protocol, this is the first time in a meeting like this.
Ma'am, you might want to, I can't hear you, I can't understand you really.
I'm so sorry.
That's no problem.
Yes, I was saying my name is Elba Velasquez, and, this is my first time in a meeting like this, so I'm following protocol, I'm sorry. Yes, I was trying to, get permission from the city, to, put, food trailer at 3226 Depot Street. That is outside of a barber shop. It's a temporary food trailer, in case if it doesn't work, we can move it. But I would really like to open it in that particular spot, if possible, if the city grants permission and the permits, of course.
So, yeah, council, I think we did a couple of these during the pandemic. The only issue that we have with granting food trucks is that the way the code is written, it only allows for temporary. What it says, you can do it associated with a temporary event. And how the council has interpreted that is instead of a permanent location, even with a movable, structure, it's a temporary hours. That's how the council's approved these in the past, in the last few years. So if there's a set times that you can maybe come for lunch service or something like that, if the council wants to approve it, that's what you have approved over the last year or so.
this is probably off topic, but we need to, and I thought that we had already asked, that ordinance be updated to no food trucks. And, that's up to y'all. What do you call temporary, Ms. Vasquez?
Well, it's a food trailer, it can be moved at any time. Usually it's moved because, usually it's taken to a commissary every couple of days to be cleaned, because it has to be cleaned specifically in a commissary for the grease trap, dirty water, it was filled with fresh water. So it's constantly moving. So it's not gonna stay there, like permanently, it's one for the women. Because also I'm gonna use it for a catering event. So that's why I will call it temporary.
It's right there at Kenny and Depot, correct?
Yes, that's the location.
One of the issues that we faced in the past with food trucks in certain locations was efficient parking. And I don't know if that meets the requirement. I don't have anything
They
as far
have
as it.
sufficient parking because that building next to it can be used as a parking space, and the barber shop has made parking space. But if we approve this, I think we ought to do it 30 days at a time. And I know that's gonna be very inconvenient, that you have to come back before council every 30 days if you wanna continue to stay there. But that's the only way that I personally would be in favor of doing it.
Is the parking, because I think that other building is a separate business.
No, they doing something with it.
I thought it was gonna be an Airbnb.
Do y'all own both of the buildings located there?
No, they own it. I happened to walk into their business one day and talking, we agreed that it was a good deal because actually they're not familiar with the food business. They only do barbershop type of thing. So talking, actually some of her customers suggested her to put something like that outside, especially on the weekends, because usually they're pretty full, especially on Saturdays because they don't open on Sundays. So usually people are there waiting for hours at a time to get a haircut or to get some type of hair service there. So, yeah, they are the ones that own it.
You could put a condition of the permit, not only the hours to be there, but also in the time length of the permit, but also like some kind of parking agreement, just that the owners of the property would, to grant them permission to have parking available for the food truck.
The other building is not being used for anything at this
Right,
time.
that's what I was trying to
Okay.
say. It's because they own
were
both of
trying
them.
to- It has not been approved for the other business they were trying to open with.
Okay.
I make a motion that we approve a temporary food truck at 3226 Depot Street for 30 days temporarily.
Second, you said about the,
Mr. Green, your vote?
For.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Motion carries, y'all. I'm sorry. Agenda number 6, discussion and possible action regarding ordinance number 22-695-15, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Brookshire, Texas, authorizing the mayor to execute a development agreement with Dar La Vita for annex of certain property related to Brookview Townhome Development in the City of Brookshire.
Mayor and council, the developer is doing 2 townhome developments. One was in the city limits, one was outside the city limits. This was outside the city limits. And so this agreement will annex the property into the city limits and make them subject to all the development requirements of the city. And just so you know, if they stay inside if you don't approve the development agreement, they're not annexed, then the city's subdivision regulations won't apply to them, and the city's development standards will not apply to them. But if they come in, then they will, and ours are a little more strict than the county.
Justin, this is the development that came in and had to go back and replat, correct? Or
They've had, there's,
replat, but
I'm saying yeah, but I'm not quite 100% sure, because one's called Brook Vista and one's called Brook View, and I got them confused in the email system. But I know this is the one Brookview is the one that's not in the city limits.
Well, they still need to be annexed into city, if they're willing to be annexed.
They are, and then that's one nature of the development agreement. It's a mutual agreement between the property owner and the city to do that.
Tax money. I make a motion that we approve ordinance 22-695-15.
Second.
And Ms. Taylor?
Or,
Motion carries. Number 6. We'll go on to agenda item number 7. Discussion and possible action regarding resolution number 135, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Brookshire, Texas, authorizing the mayor to execute an interlocal agreement with Waller County regarding animal control service. In your packets, you should have a copy of the agreement, so y'all can take a look over it, or
I read it.
Mayor, if council will remember, we all agreed upon the interlocal agreement with the Waller County at one time, and I even had to go to Commissioner's Court. Sorry, I don't like people in my back. Sneaking up on me like that. I've lived a good life. I want to keep living for a little while. I went and stood up and for the city of Brookshire, and Commissioner's Court asked me to work with Sheriff Guidry, and I'm glad Ms. Warthal's here. Worried about something else instead of dogs, but Miss Warthal and myself Miss Warthal more than myself has rescued more dogs and puppies that's been abandoned in the city of Brookshire. The city of Brookshire done their part of getting them their first shots and then relinquishing them to Bell's Buds. And I hate to say this, but y'all know me. That building down there comes nowhere close to being an animal shelter than this courtroom does. There was a committee set up that nobody ever reached out to meet with the committee to even discuss animal shelter or what. And it's more than just having a building. When you intake animals, you have to give them parvo shots, kennel cough shots, rabies shots. You should be able to read if they've been microchipped. I just, to make a long story short, believe that we can't go wrong with this interlocal agreement. There's the biggest thing is to have someone, because everybody says that we have a lot of dogs running around. Once again, I'm going to say that people let their dogs out to go to the restroom, and a new neighbor sees Fifi out there and thinks that it's a stray dog, and they call, and I go running over there, and guess what? It's the new neighbor's dog. But it would be nice, because the police department, when they answer the phone, the first thing the dispatcher says is, we don't have animal control. The police do not go out there and even attempt to see if the dog belongs to the new neighbor or anyone else. And I just look at this interlocal agreement as a win-win situation for the animals as well as the city of Brookshire.
I agree. This is long overdue. We've been in need for animal control for some years now. So,
Well, I wish the city could reimburse me for all them hamburgers that I've had to buy to coax them little dogs while I was playing animal control.
Mr. Mayor, may I make a comment about what the councilman said about the dog police? She made a comment that the police officer don't go out. I actually had to fire warning shot at the dog last week. And the council member, we do go out, we get calls, we go out and we start to have some people gotta come to court because they give a ticket for having the animals at large. We explain to a lot of people that you cannot have your dog chasing people with dogs off a depot. Other day, chasing kids from the bus stop. I had to fire a warning shot. I didn't want to shoot the dog because the dog played. I didn't want to have Brookshire all on the news because the dog charged me. I gave the owner a citation. So when you say that we don't go out, we do go out. We go out. We get calls.
If you don't mind, can I ask for permission to speak on behalf of you and on behalf of everybody else? I have lived in Brookshire for 20 years now, off and on. I've left and come back. 9 times out of 10, if I get a phone call to go and rescue a stray animal, I'll go. I risk bites, you risk accidentally climbing underneath somebody else's property, you risk being shot yourself because you don't know what you're getting into. There's so much liability being a volunteer, just trying to help our citizens. I don't get paid for that. If I do call, and sometimes I do, I always tell somebody if they're gonna ask me to come out to please call Brookshire PD first. Because if I need to be in a 911 situation, I need you guys to help me. Sometimes it's a 50-50 shot because I have gotten some of these officers that help me. You do get that a lot, but it's not consistent. There's been more than one time where I've had to crawl underneath somebody's mobile home to pull out an animal that they've left behind and not have anybody there to help me. And my choice is to either let those dogs sit there and die or keep waiting until we have somebody else there. So when Kim was going to do the interlocal agreements and we were being told no, it was disheartening. And there's always a good thing. Everybody is always trying to come up with different ways to put the animal control building in place here. But you can have a building, but you also have to have people there that are gonna help you control those animals, that are gonna help you take care of those animals. It needs 24-hour round-the-clock care. And that's how we always end up taking in rescues all the time. If I take in a family of dogs, that's 9 dogs, and I have them for 3 months, because that's what the minimum it takes to get them shots or get them fixed. And we just don't have enough volunteers to be able to do that as citizens. So we need our interlocal agreement, and we need everybody to be on the same page with our officers and with the city to make sure that we're all doing the right thing, so that we're not putting all of our citizens at risk. Everybody's doing the right thing. Everybody knows that stray dogs aren't necessarily something that anybody wants to deal with, but there's only a few of us that are actually doing it. So if it was my choice, I would please never stop trying to get an interlocal agreement, especially with Waller County, because it doesn't fall back on us again, and we don't need that again.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve interlocal agreement with Waller County for animal control.
Second.
Mr. Green, your vote?
4.
And now, Mr. Jones, you want to vote? Huh?
We're on,
I know this the one we already done before, right? The one count, this the one, right?
Yeah, this is one,
4.
Four.
Thought it was in action.
we got the
the
contract.
price went up.
Huh?
The price went up. There's a difference in price. It's in your packet. But it's a good deal.
Okay, motion carries. Agenda item number 8, discussion and possible action regarding resolution number 1352, a resolution of the City Council, City of Brookshire, Texas, approving a project for the Brookshire Economic Development Corporation related to life after bugs.
I don't have that resolution in my packet.
Got a copy here if you use that.
Well, sir, this is nothing personal. I'm gonna apologize before I say anything.
Mayor, I can, so the resolution, just so what it is that, you know, the EDC has standard projects in the state law that they can approve. And most of those don't involve the city council approval. This, however, there's a certain type of project, and you'll see the reference is 505-158 of the Texas Local Government Code. If the board finds that they can have a project that for whatever reasons, unique reasons that aren't listed in the state code, but that particular type of project, that expands local business or invites new business in, then they can create a project. So the EDC did that under this provision for this business. Kind of the trigger for that, though, is if that project is gonna cost more than $10,000, then you as a council have to approve the project by reading a resolution twice. So this would be the first reading of that resolution to approve that project. The general structure of the project is for life after bugs. The EDC will commit, or is this, if you approve it, EDC will commit to paying 6 months rent for life after bugs while either he finds a location here in Brookshire to permanently put a different structure on, or he can choose to continue to lease out the location. But the EDC's commitment is as to support a new business, to support that initial lease.
Well, I have quite a bit to say about this. First of all, we have 3 city council members that sit on EDC. We were blindsided by this. Nobody ever said, hey, this is an idea that we think that might could
Discussed it on
suffice.
That's when it came about on Tuesday.
Right,
so-
on Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
But undoubtedly, y'all knew what y'all was gonna do because it appeared on this agenda that was put out last Friday. And my problem is we don't communicate.
I know it's not personal, and please, just take a deep breath. I don't wanna confuse your passion for anger, but we discussed this on Tuesday. Apparently you knew about it. Now, before you think that we have all agreed upon this, please refrain from that tone, because we all did not
I
agree.
understand that you abstained, Mr. Jones.
So you knew about that, so I didn't wanna stop you from, your discussion on that, but please, if you can, don't direct it as though there was a coerciveness going on, because
Yeah.
that was not true, or there was 3 council members and we all,
If you would have let me finish my sentence, you have 3 council members, and I don't believe in that. Even though before Justin says you can have 4 and whatever,
I don't believe a husband and wife ought to be serving on city council.
Mr. Jones?
but we're elected
I
officials,
think
and the state says
I
there's
think we
nothing
need
wrong
to
with it.
stick to the agenda item.
I think that it would have been kind of the EDC board to have let us know ahead of time.
It just took place, Ms. Branch.
Right. But y'all had to know about it before it could be on y'all's agenda to approve it.
We knew about it and it was in discussion with the attorney. And we didn't make a move up until we got everything from our attorney. Now it's here for your approval.
For y'all approval, because I ain't on board.
Ms. Branch, we cannot, it has to come to council for the final approval.
That's fine.
I
Excuse me,
respect-
like, what I wanna say is,
How come I got cut off? Oh,
who speak, Mr. Jones? Go ahead, Mr. Jones.
I understand that the issue is the EDC board.
It's not the issue.
Yes, ma'am. I respect that. Upon this agenda item, we have to make a decision for life after Buzz. The proposal has come, according to what our city attorney directed us upon, of the EDC supporting this new business for 6 months until they get their property sold. There are some issues with the property right now that he's trying to work to clear out. Again, everybody did not agree with the proposal that was given. Everybody did not. I understand that the problem is with the 3 council members, and I understand that nobody wants us on the EDC. But right now at hand, this young man has come, he got a raw deal, a bad deal. Let's address that tonight.
Well, all I'm asking is, I didn't say that I didn't want it on there. What I'm saying is, you have 3 city council members that does not communicate with the rest of the city council. You can't blindside me, Mr. Jones, and expect me to go along with something. And in the years past, we've asked that the EDC give the council a report of projects that y'all are working on, and we never get anything. If it was a simple email.
If we want to do that, mayor did not start producing a mayor's report until I started doing projects and didn't want my name announced. Again, we just talked about this. Please don't allow your passion for us to be removed to take precedence over the fact that we have this young man on the agenda. Now, if you have a motion, let's process the motion.
Okay, what I want to say is that even I was not told that y'all, or the EDC, was going to start paying for his rental. I had no idea. Actually, he told me, Mr. Larry told me, and then the locations that agreed to allow him to rent a space told me, but I never knew until then. So I feel that, we were, like she says, blindsided with this and had no idea we was even in part of this. I thought that was going to be taken care of by y'all.
Okay, let me say this. Hold on, Mr. Jones, please. How all of this came about is this gentleman brought a piece of property wanting to build a life here in Brookshire with his business. It just happened to be in between 2 residential pieces of property, 2 homes. I've been really passionate about trying to stop that in our community. And this one just happened to slip through the cracks. And then he started having issues with the citizens in the community. They came and expressed themselves, and we really wanted to help. We didn't want to run him out of our community, so we reached out to the economic development to see if it was something that EDC could do to help him. And I expressed that to him. We don't want you to leave our community. We welcome new businesses to the community, but not in the heart of a residential area. EDC, this is pretty much all the EDC could really do, other than just says, no, we can't help you, and it comes back to city council and we have to deal with it a different way. This is how all of this came about. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it was unanimous, and we didn't want him there, right there at that particular area, but we didn't want to run him off. So we reached out to G-Tech, to see if we can help him relocate over there up until something else is resolved. And it was no secret. I mean, there's nobody conjuring. It just took place, Ms. Branch. You know, I think everybody was aware of this problem right here, but we just discussed that at the EDC meeting. I'm sorry that no one relayed the information back to y'all. I'm not in the office every day. You know, we all got lives outside of City Hall. You know, we're trying to juggle all of this. I, too, Ms. Branch, have been the one saying we need to get reports back from EDC before I was even on the EDC board.
Right.
But it's been really busy here lately,
And-
really busy.
And that would be on me. I know for the last medical issue that took place in January that knocked me pretty much out. And that was pretty much the first meeting that I was able to attend. So that part of it, as the report factor, would be, I'll put that on me. That's my responsibility. I was supposed to have given that. But due to medical issues, I was down. So I apologize to this board, this council, because I nominated myself to give that EDC report. But I'm glad you mentioned that I sustained, so it let me know that you weren't totally blindsided. But this is the first time
Y'all's meetings are recorded just like our meetings are recorded.
So you're not blindsided.
Oh, yeah, I was blindsided because I got this Friday with no resolution. I mean, we can sit here and debate, Mr. Jones, if you'd like to, but it's a waste of my time, your time, and the rest of the council's time. When the mayor's ready for a motion,
Ma'am,
I'd like to make a
Ms.
motion.
Branch, I mean, you're talking like we're the ones that make the agenda.
The mayor didn't know
I didn't.
because I
It
asked the
has to
mayor
go to
what
his-
this was.
This is
Doesn't-
election time,
And-
so let
Okay,
me-
hold on,
Yeah,
hold on.
it's election.
Let's-
It's okay.
Let's
Uh,
just
if
move
I'm-
on and,
Did everybody not get this? Cause it's in the main packet that she copied to make y'all's packet.
For 7
I
terms,
did
she know
not.
why this stuff is posted, so this is just to highlight EDC. Yes, ma'am, it's okay.
I understand it.
Okay.
It's
I just wanna make
okay.
sure she checks.
It's
Okay.
okay.
Did anybody else not get this ordinance? Cause it's here in the
Okay.
main packet. She gives me the packet she uses to make the copies. And it's here.
Well, you know, this is not the first time that everything hasn't been included in my packet. So maybe,
I apologize. I'll tell her to make sure that everybody's packet has everything. But it's also emailed and but I'll make sure that she checks. This was a big packet though, and I'm not taking up for her. It was a lot of paper to make all these packets. And it could have just been a malfunction in the copying, I don't know.
We're ready for a motion.
yeah, I'm ready for a motion.
I make a motion that we do not approve Resolution 1352.
I didn't hear what he said.
He makes a motion that he does not approve, resolution 1352.
Second.
Mr. Green, your vote?
Against. Ma'am,
What was your vote?
against.
And Ms. Taylor, your vote?
Or,
4?
well, against it.
Oh.
But you said yes, I mean, so it was supposed to be for.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Okay. Now, we,
1 to 3.
Jones said do not approve.
So Councilman Jones said he moved to not approve it. Councilwoman Taylor
Agree with
agreed
him,
with
right.
the not approving it.
Okay.
And it was seconded by Councilwoman Branch to not approve it.
That's what I was saying.
No, and Councilman Green voted against not approving it. Yeah.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
okay, let's move on to agenda item number 9. Discussion and possible action regarding the continuation, amendment, or cancellation of a license agreement with Brookshire Fire Rescue. Mr. Pruitt, you wanna speak on this?
So we have there's a license agreement that's been, I think it's 1 or 2 iterations, but it should expire in October with the Brookshire Fire Rescue. I talked to Councilman Stamps, and that entity, Brookshire Fire Rescue, doesn't exist anymore. It's not an entity. They've dissolved. And so this would be just an action to cancel that license agreement since we don't have an entity to agree with. And I think the outflow of that would be that any kind of, property that's associated with that would come back to the city because there would be no agreement with that entity that doesn't exist anymore. So I think what you were saying, Mayor, is that keys to trucks or any kind of equipment that would be associated with whatever that license agreement was for, then that would come back to the city. And Councilman Stamps understood that, so and I know he's not here, but, so I think the Brookshire Fire Rescue Group understands that there's no need for the license agreement anymore.
You spoke,
Do we need a vote?
So the motion would be just to cancel the license agreement with Brookshire Fire Rescue.
and you spoke with Chief Stamps.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
He said that the Brookshire Fire Rescue as an entity is dissolved, so there's no entity.
Okay.
Yeah, I think most of them are already working with the ESD.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In that case, I make a motion that we do not enter into an agreement.
Just that we cancel.
That we cancel, I apologize. I make a motion that we cancel the license agreement with Brookshire Fire Rescue
Second.
based off the recommendations that it no longer exists.
Ms. Taylor, your vote.
4.
Ms. Branch, your vote.
4.
We've already done agenda item number 10. Agenda item number 11, discussion and possible action regarding bids received for the convention center repairs.
Have an update.
We're looking on those bids. Did you get them?
Convention center bids.
That's back out. We got in one bid, I think there was a little confusion about what we were getting bids on. We did have a couple other people interested. The one bid we got came in after the deadline that was posted. So that is in the newspaper again, and only asking for bids on the restrooms. Because that was the motion that was made, but the specs that went out was for other things. And so the notice that's out now is just for the restrooms.
And that will allow us to be able to use it if we get those areas under construction, right? My concern,
The ADA compliance is the biggest issue, but that was why we stopped renting it,
okay.
is my understanding from council.
'Cause my concern is, I know graduation is coming up,
Right.
and I hope, once we get through with this project, that we can get with the Waller County group that owns the building next door, and I know that's not on the agenda, Brother Jason, so, but if we can, Brother Mayor, this has been lingering for a while now, and I think we need to try to press this to get this done. I know you've been working on it.
I have a question though. What about the grants for the, to try to get it done? To try to fix the convention center, the grants that, you were talking about?
Yes, that's like a 2-year process. We're still getting the list. They're working with us and we're updating as you guys tell us things. I mean, they got the roof, they got the convention center. Convention center normally would not be approved, but because we do keep things in there for emergency management, that was, one of the things that would have qualified it. And so we met with, the representatives helping us with that. But that's a process because that list has to be formulated. He's processing it to make sure that that's something that can be done. Then when the list is finalized, it has to come back to you guys for approval. Then it goes out to, say the state, I'm not, whatever agency that has to approve what we're asking for. And then there's other processes, I guess, going out for bids once all of those are approved of money.
Yeah,
So that's not a quick turnaround.
no.
I think the deadline runs into 2024, if I'm not mistaken, to complete those projects.
But
I thought we had got the grant, that's why I was asking, like,
Yes, we were approved, but the process of spending the money is another process. There are certain projects that money can only be used for. There's a listing.
how long will the process be before we find a contractor? What do we, because the 15 days in the newspaper's up. So what are we lingering and waiting on now?
Waiting on bids.
What bids do we have now? Do we still have Mr. Woods?
One bid that did not come in
Okay,
on time,
okay,
according to what was posted
okay,
in the paper and here at City Hall and on the website.
okay.
It has been sent back to the newspaper. And it's in there.
In other
this
words,
week.
it won't be done before graduation, Mr. Jones. We've been battling this now for, it'll probably be 2 years in July.
Okay. How long do we have to wait before it comes back? I mean, before we can make a decision? I know it got to run another 15 days.
Well, if we get the bids in, I don't remember what the paper's out there in the
But
lobby. But once those come in, they can go on the next agenda.
Okay, that'll be my agenda item, because we'll be making a decision real quickly.
And then we can't tear up
So,
the
okay, it's
people,
6 weeks.
the convention center because it's election.
yeah. but-
So, it won't be done till whenever.
I've been having on the agenda for a while every time, so.
Yep.
Well, the biggest deal is that, I mean, we're going out for bids, we're just not getting them.
I mean, are
That's the
we
biggest
putting them,
problem.
we putting them out like
So,
everywhere,
it-
so.
and I
people can
think-
see that's-
Well, I think it would take 3 to 4 to 6 weeks. I don't, because right after the election, that's May 7th. We got a couple of 2 weeks, 3. We're not.
It's not gonna
It-
make it.
it's not gonna
It's
be
not
ready.
gonna make it.
We've missed so much revenues,
Right.
so many, I mean, Patterson Fire Department and the hangar is getting
Right,
all the revenue that Brookshire Convention Center could have had because we can't agree upon, could we use hotel motel tax? How many times that we're gonna go out for bids, cause we only got this one bid and we don't like this person, so we gotta go out for some more bids, then,
We
I
ain't
mean,
never said that.
we
now.
need to really
never
come
said that.
together.
That's not true.
Hold on, wait.
What I said was the facts.
Yes.
We received one bid and it was after the deadline. And I don't even know those people to say I like them or don't, Ms. Brandt.
We not.
I
I'm the
did-
one that handles
This was a long time ago, Miss Harrison. You don't even know what meeting we're talking about. Let's just move
Mr.
forward
Pruitt, Mr.
and
Pruitt.
know that it's not gonna be done before graduation.
I want to go on record and say I don't know who put a bid in to know who if I like them or not. So.
I want to know who that is
me
too.
too. I wanna know who the person is.
Mr. Pruitt, how long do we have to do this if we don't get but that one?
How much, so the bid that's out now that's posted, is it just limited for the bathrooms, is that correct?
This one is strictly the restroom because that was what
So
the
that,
motion was made
so,
for, the restroom.
and I think that this was in the EDC for a while, and then the city took this part on, I think that's how it was.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
So the difference is EDC doesn't have to do the bidding requirements like you do, so that would be a little freedom for that group to do that. For you all, you only have to do bidding if it's gonna be more than 50 grand. I don't know what the cost is gonna be for the bathrooms alone, but if it's less than 50 grand,
It's a lot.
A
I
lot
can
more
tell
than
you
It's
that.
a lot more because we have to pull up that flooring, that's non-commercial flooring that,
Not only that, you gotta tear the concrete floor up to redo all the plumbing in there,
it's,
move around the toilets
and they're gonna have to tear up the tile because they have to make handicap,
Ramp.
Accessible.
Yeah.
stall.
Oh,
That,
okay.
We're gonna table
It's
this.
gonna,
it's a real renovation.
It
It's
just
not an
needs-
easy
just-
fix.
We making have it for Juneteenth.
Yeah, right.
We might.
Might have it Juneteenth. That might be the best bit.
Can I ask a public question about the bathrooms, and Mr. Fruit, you might be able to answer it. Are y'all allowed to market it, like, around the election? Like, are you allowed to post up signs around the bathroom that say, accepting bids to upgrade this facility?
Yeah, nothing stops the city, so when we have a bid, we're all, if you know somebody, you can hand them the bid packet.
Okay.
If you know somebody, city can do that, we can post it anywhere. Newspaper posting, to answer your question, Mayor, general standard, it really depends on what you wanna do. 14 days, 30 days, it depends on the scope of the project. So if we're not getting responses, 14 days, that's why that would be extended, because you're not getting responses from it.
It's
So-
more like when we're already gonna have people coming in and out voting, so I do marketing when I'm not sitting.
Hey, market that.
And so that's one of the things that we do is we just create different posts for different things to get more traction and didn't know, and people wanted to post that kind of stuff to prepare for the election.
so is it, okay to say that, if we don't get, the bids within few days, could we possibly go with the one that wants to do it?
Well, right now, you don't have anything, because the only bid that you've got was for
So you gotta
the
start over.
prior posting, that apparently it was more than just the bathrooms.
Yep, right.
So that wasn't accurate, and it came in after the date. So this way, essentially, right now, you have no
Could,
response.
Ms. Harrison, could you reach out to that person and ask them to separate it,
Just the restroom.
just the restrooms, and, to resubmit it?
No action.
Okay. No action taken. And agenda item number 12, discussion and possible action regarding invoice payments and reports.
Can do team?
I was looking at Gunda's invoice, and I don't know if anybody paid attention, but I don't remember us saying that we would pay her mileage here and home. But it's been on the last few invoices, and I wasn't gonna rock the boat, 'cause I don't vote for them. But, I think we need to discuss that. And I'll be making a future agenda item for that. But just where y'all will know.
Comment, discussion?
That may be a part, I don't have their contract in front of me, but it may be a part of the expenses listed in their contract. And so the
Yeah,
future agenda
well.
item would be to readdress that contract.
That's what I was thinking as well.
I'll make
I didn't
a
know.
future agenda item.
To address the contract or the mileage?
Both.
Let's go to the contract first. Let's look at the contract first.
Well,
Because it's gonna direct, it's
get
gonna,
off topic,
Yeah.
and Justin starts hollering at us. We only okayed that, contract for $50,000, and I think we're pretty close there. And I'll quit talking before you decide to holler at me.
we do team?
Okay, so,
Yep. 50.
we still have to vote on regarding the other payments and reports.
I'll make a motion that we improve the invoices and reports.
Second.
Which one are you second?
Green,
You did?
green.
I did.
Green?
I was just echo.
Okay, now you can talk. Mr. Jones?
4.
Okay. Ms. Branch?
I abstain.
Still carries.
Mr. Gentleman on this team?
Hmm?
It's number 10.
Number 10? Yeah,
Yeah.
we did it
It's a-
earlier.
Tell him what happened, Mayor.
I talked to him.
Concerning the,
The ramp.
Boston Park?
Yeah.
yes.
You remember
I think
called?
somebody is coming in to volunteer the services.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got
We
it.
approved it.
Yes, sir.
The home builders that's building on First Street.
Okay. Okay, that's excellent. But I did want to highlight, Public Works
Yeah, they,
for their efforts of going out there and trying to make it happen. I do know the survey, they did find the survey, but we have already discussed it, so I missed it, and I apologize. I was late.
Yeah, we went out this week over there,
We don't have to go back over, brother, man.
but anyway, we went out there.
Thank you for going out there, man. I'm just excited something is taking place. I really am. It's,
Hitting the ditches, and we're gonna have to cut down a couple trees, just.
and we're gonna have to get that replotted.
Okay. Agenda item number 13. Request for future agenda items, I'm sorry. Let's start with you, Mr. Jones.
Brother Mayor, none at this time.
Mr. Green,
Not right now, Mayor.
Ms. Taylor,
none at this time.
Ms. Branch.
Discussion and possible action implementing a $250 per day fine to the company that has the billboard on 90 and Gresham that's was voted on by city council to be taken down 7 months ago.
For the billboards.
Second.
Ms. Taylor, you said second.
Mhm.
Thought the fine was already in the ordinance.
They didn't,
Mr. Pruitt was supposed to take care of it, and I don't think it ever happened, because I don't think we ever,
It's not an agenda.
Voted on.
We can talk about executive session.
oh, are we going in executive session?
It's on the agenda.
I see it, but I thought it was something else. Okay.
Okay,
That page.
Mr. Jones,
Sir,
on the billboard fine, you agree or disagree?
Ms. Taylor did.
oh, 4, that's to be on the agenda. Yes, sir.
And Mr. Green? 4. Ms. Taylor, your agenda items, future?
I'm not through with mine, and she said she didn't have none. Discussing and possible action going out for bids for a new engineering firm.
Well, that keep coming on now. Still, just like the convention center, we can't make that happen.
Dundas our engineering firm right now.
Second.
Second.
We only okayed them up to $50,000. That's why I'm asking.
It wasn't supposed to be long term.
No.
No, yeah, no long term.
Mr. Green, your vote?
I want to say this first. There's a lot of projects going on right now. And to
This is
Chop it off.
discussion about going out for bids. Well, I didn't say we were sending them out the back door tomorrow. It takes us 2 years to get the bathrooms fixed. This won't happen overnight.
4.
Yeah.
Any more, Ms. Branch?
Discussion and possible action on the food truck ordinance.
Second.
And, okay, vote for that, and I think I
Hold on.
got one more.
Just for clarity on that, like in the next agenda, you wanna see the ordinance to have no food trucks in Brookshire.
Yeah. That's what we voted on.
Ms. Taylor, you second.
Let's talk about it after.
Mr. Jones, your votes? And Mr. Green?
4.
Discussion and possible action looking at the mileage for Gunda.
I thought you already did it.
Well, I wasn't sure that I have to say that again, or was we gonna look at it
Okay.
however? And that's all.
Okay, agenda item number 14. Council reports and community announcements. We'll start with you, Mr. Jones. You have anything announced?
Yes, sir. On April the 29th and April the 30th, Brookshire Youth Advisory Commission will be hosting their first Youth Awareness Summit. The 29th will be a boots and denim dance that will be held at the hangar from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. The summit will be at the hangar on that Saturday, April the 30th, starting at 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Classes involved with Wells Fargo coming in and teaching about budgeting and savings, even opening up bank accounts. So it's not just for elementary and middle school, but high school as well, youth and young adults. So we're asking that the council would come and support. Also, citizens would come out and come out and support and see what our young people are doing.
If I don't have to work, I will.
Yes, sir. Also, on May the 7th, collaborating with Cinco de Mayo will be our youth community fun day. So we got various activities that will be lined up, starting at 11 a.m. following the parade, until we have
Okay,
as much fun
where's
as we can.
Where's the parade going? Because we had this problem before at Cinco de Mayo parade. Blocking election traffic. Yes, sir. This just came up, and that's why that was,
I don't know the actual route or route. That would be a question for Councilman Stamps.
might you hint to him? I don't have his number.
Anything else?
Communication is key.
Any other announcements? Do you have any? Ms. Taylor?
No, sir. Not at this time.
Ms. Branch?
No, sir.
Oh, can I slide one more in, Brother Mayor?
Sure.
On April the 19th at Royal High School, our baseball and softball seniors will be being recognized for senior night. They're combining this to make it a greater event, hoping that the community will come out and celebrate our graduating seniors who play both baseball and softball. That's April the 19th. First game being at 5:30. Next game at 6:30.
Good game,
Two different fields, I believe.
Okay.
Softball field and baseball field.
All right.
Somebody at concession stand, please, come by the concession stand.
Anything else?
Oh, athletic banquet, May the 5th. At 6 p.m. Y'all, we need the community to come out and support the district. It would greatly show our students and tell them that we are invested in them. So,
Give me the time again, please, sir.
6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Athletic banquet. That'll be at the Royal High School, May the 7th, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Is that it, sir?
Oh, for right now.
Hurry before he thinks of something else.
I'm out of air.
Flip on to the next page. Agenda item number 15, executive session. City Council will meet in executive sessions as authorized by Title 5, Chapter 551 Government Code, the Texas Open Meetings Act for the following purpose. Section 551.071, consultation with the city attorney. Section 551.087, negotiation regarding economic development, and section 551.072, deliberating regarding real property.